Yo, what's up, my beautiful people? I want to thank you guys for tuning in to my first All American review. So, to everyone who has recommended and suggested this, I hope you guys are happy with the content. This is a new show that I will be reviewing. I was kind of skeptical to start reviewing in the middle of the season. However, there were enough people to convince me to go ahead and do it anyway that they didn't care. They just wanted to hear my views. So, you guys, here you go. I am recording this. It's almost 10 o'clock, so excuse me for my voice sounding extra raspy and extra deep right now, but that's just what it is. So without further ado, here we are. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe if you have not already hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit the bell so you can always be informed as to when I drop a video. So here we go. This is All American Season 3, Episode 9, entitled Testify. Now, the show opens up exactly where the last episode left off, with Olivia's ass hitting a parked car. I was so upset because I was like, damn it, we didn't even get 5 minutes to enjoy Olivia and Spencer, in this beautiful place that they were in. And I was just like, come on. We have been waiting for those of us who are Team Spencer and Olivia. We have been waiting. We knew this was going to happen. And when it does happen, y'all give us 3.5 minutes. Y'all, I was upset. I was upset, mad, angry, perplexed, all of the above. Um, so she hits this car and she is hysterical. And she's hysterical because she has been drinking unbeknownst to Spencer. And so basically she tells Spencer that she needs them to switch seats because she will not be able to pass the sobriety test. So, Spencer is shocked and he's looking at her like, what the hell? Like he questions her about drinking. And she's like, I know you have all these questions. I can't really answer them right now. I just need for you to I need you to take this for me. And so she goes straight into self-preservation mode. And we all know what that is. That is, you look out for you. You looking out for team one, team you, team of me. And it was selfish as hell, but that's just what it was. And I can understand why she felt the need to do that, but it was still foul as hell. So they get out of the car, they hear the sirens behind them. They get out of the car, and I know it just wasn't me who anxiety was on 10. Like, even though I am fully aware that this is a fictitious show, knowing the dynamic between black people and white police officers, it was amazing what I was feeling watching that scene. Even though I know this is a scripted show, just that dynamic and that anxiety and that fear. And so once they found out that Olivia was, the district attorney's daughter, they let them go. He basically told Olivia to call her mom to let her know that she was okay and to get a tow. But they let them go. And I was able to let out a exhale of relief that nothing happened, wayward in that situation. But that was a real life moment. And I was like, dang, that really got me just watching this, this fictitious show. It just goes to show like the stuff that's going on in the world for real. It definitely mirrors, what All American is showing right now. So Olivia, Spencer, and the mom, they're home, and she's just happy that everyone is okay. And, Olivia doesn't tell her what happened. She asked Spencer, was he going to join them for dinner the next night? And so Spencer didn't say anything, but she was like, you can't say no because your coach is going to be here as well. So, Spencer, asked Olivia, is she gonna tell, her parents about what happened? And she was like, it was just one time, I was nervous about telling you that I loved you. And I was mad at Olivia because I'm thinking, number one, you're lying. And on the second hand, you are using. Now, she may have been telling the truth when she stated that she was nervous about telling Spencer that she loved him, which I do believe she was telling the truth. That is still not a justification for her drinking, because we all know, which, Spencer finds out later on as well, that Olivia has been drinking all summer with that little, cup that she has been carrying around. Then I thought about it like, sis, if you gonna lie and you gonna keep up the facade that you only had one drink, you needed to change cups. She didn't think about that. The heifer had the same cup. She had the same cup the whole time. And I'm just like, Olivia just was not thinking this thing through at all. And I really felt bad for Spencer in that moment because I'm like, he really loves this girl, and we know that she loves him, yet she's not willing to accept the truth about herself. So, she grabbed his hands and let him know that what she told him earlier, it still remains. Like, she still feels the same way about him, and, what happened that night didn't change anything. Um, so next we see Coop. Now, Coop makes me laugh because, okay, you see Coop and you see Layla. They're in the car. They vibing off this track that Layla has created for Coop. And, Coop was like, she's harping on the fact that everything needs to be perfect because she needs to show her mom this, have her mom listen to this, for her mom to back her, be proud of her, and not really care about her dropping out of school. And I'm like, sis, come on. Your mom may be proud of you and happy for you right now. Your mom is never going to be okay with you dropping out of school. You're a senior. You're super close to graduating. Why would your mom support that? Why would she be happy about that? But the thing about it is, Coop acts as if she has like this multi-million-dollar contract. She acts as if like her whole life is about to change. And I'm like, you barely have a production deal. You barely have a production deal, and she's acting as if like she is literally on the way to superstardom. Which, don't get me wrong, she was on tour and everything, but it's like for her to just want to quit and just go, head forth into this music career. I just find that really interesting. I could see if she was like really popping, because Coop thinks she popping, like she might be popping-ish a little bit. But I'm like, Coop, you are not in any position, baby, to just, throw away your education. And I am a firm believer on following your dreams, but I'm also a realist. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm on both sides. I believe in, fairy tale and, and all that happy ending and stuff like that. But I'm also, a realist, as if you're not thinking correctly about how you're going to achieve your dreams and you're just going at them haphazardly, you're probably not going to achieve what you really want, to achieve. And so that was it for Coop and Layla on that scene. So we see Spencer, he's he's doing weight training, and he begins to think about Olivia, and he remembers seeing her cup all summer. So he calls her out on it. He calls her, and he was like, you lied to me. You've been drinking all summer. And she was like, who told you that? Because whoever told you that is lying. I'm like, Liv, stop. Don't do that. The worst thing you could do is just lie. Just own up and admit to what you've been doing. I'm like, you lying. You could tell, you could see, you could feel the hurt in Spencer's voice. And I'm just like, this poor baby, this poor child who's just carrying the whole damn world on his shoulders, and all he want is for people to be real with him and be honest with him, and he can't even get that. So he basically tells Olivia that if she doesn't tell her parents by the end of dinner, that he's gonna do it. Point blank, simple, period. I was not mad at him for that. If I was, I can't put myself in having, I've had some sort of addiction. I ain't gonna go into detail. And if I had someone in my life that was like, look, I'm going to get you some help. I think when you're denying what you're dealing with, you know what I'm saying? That's when yeah, you're having a relapse. And so basically that's what Spencer told Olivia, like, you're having a relapse. You had a relapse, and she just refuses to accept that, which I do understand in a sense, because no one, I believe, who is an addict wants to accept the fact that they are going backwards instead of going forwards, and they're not in the place that they thought they were. So I understand it. I'm not saying it's right, but I do understand it. Now back at Crenshaw, Billy makes sure that Spencer is okay after the accident. He also informed Spencer that the head coach of UCLA resigned. So, of course, Spencer is disheveled because he believes that that's his only opportunity to play college football. And so, Billy was like trying to get him like calm down. It's okay. But he also informs Spencer that he opened up the tryouts for the kicker school wide. So basically, Billy is desperate. So anybody who wants to try out for the football team as a kicker, they are more than welcome because they cannot afford to lose any more games. If they lose, I believe, one more game, then they're out of the playoffs. And so you have seniors, of course, who are trying to get recruited. And losing games, having a losing season is not going to get you to where you know what I'm saying, where you want to be. So I definitely understood where Billy was coming from in relaying the truth to Spencer, but also trying to have him, to have a positive outlook on everything that was going on. So Olivia. Olivia is, at her locker, and she's let me go back. So we find out that Spencer is gonna be his last session with the therapist. And I was surprised that Spencer stuck with it. You know what I'm saying? Because Spencer just tries to be so many things for so many people. And the fact that he would, put himself in a position to listen and seek help, and knowing that he cannot help everybody and he was not built to help everybody. So I forgot about that. It was his last session. So with Olivia, she has, we all know that she keeps her vodka in a water bottle. And so she was about to take a drink until she was startled by Asher. She tried to apologize about how everything went down between them. Now, maybe I should have watched the last episode before I watched this and did the review. But I thought when they were at the cabin, wasn't their breakup mutual? Like, was it mutual? Because if I thought it was more like Asher heavy sided. Like, I thought he was, I don't remember. But I'm like, why is he mad? Like, why is he upset? I don't remember. Because I'm like, I thought it was mutual. It was like, I don't remember. So I am going to go back and watch it. But if you watch this video, you guys can inform me. Because I guess I must have had a lapse of memory. Because I'm like, hell, how the hell they broke up again? I don't know. But I didn't understand why he was like in his feelings like that. I didn't. So anyway, Jordan and Simone. So Jordan wants to tell his parents about him and Simone being, husband and wife. Now, speaking of Simone, sis was going on Monday night episode. She's a beautiful woman in general, but Monday night something was just different. Because I'm like, wow, she looks gorgeous. Like, she looked really, really good. Not that she don't look good any other time, but it was just, baby girl was on some, Monday night. I just had to put that out there. But anyway, Simone, Simone was like, "Are you crazy?" She was like, "Are you crazy?" She was like, she said, if by some chance your parents don't kill us, have you met my mama? Now, anytime a black person says, "Have you met my mama? Have you met my daddy?" That means yes. You have met my parentals and you know that they're just as crazy as I do. So why are you trying it right now? And, Simone believes that her and Jordan are in a great peaceful place and she doesn't want to do anything to disturb that peace, even though Jordan wants to celebrate Simone as his wife, which I believe is so adorable and so cute, even though I believe they're young as hell to be married. I'm on Simone's side right now. Like, I think, like, this is probably not the best time to tell your parents that y'all married. So I just say lay low for a little minute. So Asher approaches them and he's kind of like, the distraction that allows Simone to, weave out of this conversation. And so he asks, was he, disrupting anything? Jordan says yes. Simone says no. Long story short, Asher approached Jordan because he wants to, get together to go over, do some runs or whatever, runs or whatever with him and JJ. Until Jordan informs him that the coach has given, a new offensive playbook and he needs to learn the plays. So Asher, being a wide receiver, meaning he plays on offense, he didn't receive that information. So he's kind of, like, let me go check these things out. So he goes to coach and coach basically tells him that she wants to switch him to defense. And, he was like, before, I don't know if you know, but before, Spencer got here, I was the lead receiver. And she was like, yes, 20 touchdowns your sophomore year. I know. And I really love Coach. I think she's a little rough around the edges, but she understands that Asher is trying to get into a specific college. And not only that, she's putting him in a better position to get recruited for that college and obtain a scholarship, which she's not always, to me, forthcoming with what she does, but she always have a valid and necessary reason for what she does. Now, let me just skip to Asher's father, who I believe is an asshole. He may always be an asshole, and maybe that's just how they gonna keep him. But he's trying to convince Asher that this coach really doesn't know you. She doesn't know what's best for you. So he takes it upon himself to go and try to tell coach how to run her program. And sis, she shut that down so quick. She was like, "It's my name on the door. This is my program, and you can close it as you leave." I said that's what I'm talking about. It's perfect. You don't have to explain yourself to anybody. Like, look, this is what I do. This is what it is, and I'm done. So I love the way that she handled. I love the way that she handled Asher's father. So we get to the tryouts. So we see this dude. He's not gonna make it, bro. Just sorry. So there's a young lady who is like, she going in on him about just how sorry he was. And so she starts kicking, and Billy was like, where did that come from? And he looks to see this young lady who's kicking his ball through the upright on the field goal. And so he was like, "Can you do this 2 more times?" She did it. And I'm like, oh yeah, he finna get her on the team. So lo and behold, her mother is played by Alexis Fields, who is Kim Fields' sister, and I love Alexis so much. It was good to see her on screen again. And of course, she has a crush on Billy. I'm like, Mama, I'm gonna need you to fall back just a tad. She was like, "Oh, I hear you're newly single now." Yes, newly single meaning fresh, meaning recent. I'm gonna need you to pause and calm your little horny behind down a little bit, because you're just doing too much, Mama. And so, of course, she embarrassed her child or whatnot. And so obviously, her and Billy know each other. They may have gone to the same high school when they were kids. So I am interested in seeing the dynamic, being that he does know her. So yeah, we gonna see how that plays out, because I believe she's gonna be on a couple of episodes this season. So I am interested to see how, all of those things come into play. Now, Coop, Coop is just interesting. Anyway, Coop goes to Grace, asking her to talk to her mom about her dropping out of school. And, Coop, to me, Coop is just tripping all around. You know what I'm saying? So, Grace basically tells her, like, she's not going to help her drop out of school. And, Coop was like, never mind, I'll find somebody else to help me. I'm like, this reverse psychology bull crap is not going to work. And it's damn sure not going to work on Grace. She's too quick and too smart for that. And so Grace began to tell a story that the audience didn't know, or I didn't know if it has been spoken about, just how the opportunities that Coop mom had. Alvin Ailey, that is incredible to even have that opportunity. And it's just like she gave that up, or she postponed her dreams so that she could, be a mother to her daughter. And Coop was like, well, that's not me. I'm not her. And yeah, you're not her. However, you do need a high school, you do need that. Even if you don't like, I'm not going to say that I didn't hate school, but I moved from North Carolina to Florida the summer before my junior year. And I realized then that Florida had one of the worst education systems. I don't know too much how it is now, because I've been out of school for a long time. But the things that I was doing in 9th grade in North Carolina, they were doing in 11th grade in Florida. So I was extremely bored in high school. So, I understood, but I'm like, cool, a lot of stuff she wasn't even trying. And even when she met Layla and she told Layla that she was going to get her GED, and Layla was like, yeah, and that's if you pass. I didn't think Layla was taking a cheap shot. I think Layla was being, sincere and real, because I'm like, cool, you failing grades. You might not pass. That is a possibility that most people don't think about. It's always like, when I do this, but you might not pass it, Coop, because you don't have great study skills. You know what I'm saying? As is, based on what we've seen on the show. But I hope Coop stay in school. I hope she doesn't drop out and get the GED. There's nothing wrong with getting your GED, but she doesn't have to. So that's my thing. She doesn't have to. So I really want her to just stick and stay in school. Just please, because I'm like, putting everything on this rap career ain't where's that. So that's just me. I ain't hating on them, I'm just saying. So Olivia and this darn sponsor. First of all, Olivia lies to her parents, and she's like, my sponsor is helping me. So her parents wanted to meet with the sponsor, like, well, can she come over tonight? We want to meet to find out, if what really happened or what really is going on with you is not a relapse. It's just the one time, like they wanted more information. So Olivia knew she was lying. So she has been searching up and down for this this sponsor. And so I'm like, Olivia, what baby, what sponsor you got? You don't have a sponsor, Olivia. You out here winging it, baby. This lady has been missing in actions for months. She's not answering the phone. She's not doing anything. So Olivia is having a straight breakdown because she can't get in touch with this sponsor because her biggest fear is going to rehab. She doesn't want to leave the people that she loves. She feels like she will lose her mind if she has to go to another rehab center. And so she's trying desperately to find this girl. Now, this is the issue that I have. So Olivia has been calling this girl for months, leaving messages, all of that. Olivia had to know she was in a bad place when she went to school and grabbed that darn water bottle out that garbage. That's when you know you got a problem, and started drinking. So she's, in the hallway. Come to find out, the sponsor has been in jail all this time. The roommate answered the phone. I'm like, well, Heifer, where you been, roommate? Where you been this whole time? This girl been calling all this time, and you just now decide to answer the phone? I said, who's the roommate? I want to chop on her throat, because you should have been answered this darn phone. So Olivia goes to the jail, and her sponsor is trying to talk, some sense into her, give her some wisdom, just about, the addiction. And Olivia had this idea in her mind that, well, I was addicted to pills. I'm not taking any pills. So even though I'm drinking, it's not the same thing. Now, I don't know if Olivia really believed this, or she told this to herself to make herself feel better about drink. I don't know. Maybe it'll come out later, but I just refuse to believe that Olivia really believed the stuff that she was saying. I really do. So the girl was informing her, like just how bad she got and how Olivia must change her life. Otherwise, you will end up here. You will end up here. So Grace found out that, Spencer had lied to her about the night before, the night of the accident. And Grace was pissed, which she should have been, and, Spencer was trying to play, super Captain Save-A-Hole about, well, she has a sickness and she really don't know. And it's like, no, you can't justify those feelings. She knew what she was doing. She had enough sense to know that if I'm caught, I'm going to be in trouble. So I need you to take this from me. Like, she knew enough to do that. So I'm like, no, we can't give, as much as I love Liv, I'm like, no, you got to be, hard on people like that. You can't you can't give them an inch, because they're going to take 10 feet. Just like we see Olivia doing, she's drinking, but she's making all of these excuses. And so I love how Grace was like, where was her concern for you? You know what I'm saying, about her asking you to lie to the police or to take this for her. What was her concern for you? What was her love for you? And you could tell that made Spencer think for a moment, like, damn, like my mom is right. So he ended up calling his therapist. He went there, and he was just telling him, like, why do you take on these people's decisions? This is not your fight. Olivia, Coop, the community, this is not like, Spencer carries such a heavy weight, and he is just too young to carry that weight and too young to put on those type of burdens on himself. And he really does try to carry it all and try to do it all when it's not his burdens to bear. So I did like the scene between himself and the therapist, especially when the therapist made the statement, that's why they tell us to put on our oxygen mask before we go try to help other people. And I think that was a valuable and a powerful line. And I hope people really understand that concept and really apply it to your life. But I thought that was a very, very powerful moment. Then we see Olivia, she shows up to Spencer's house, and she wants Spencer to go home with her because she doesn't believe that she can face her family alone. And so he was like, no, I believe you can, but it doesn't matter if you don't believe it. And so she was just like, you say you love me, like, now you through with me? He said, I'm not through with you, but, you need to do this on your own. And she was like, well, it doesn't feel like it. I was like, Olivia, reverse psychology was a big theme on Monday night episode. And so I'm like, baby, don't do that. Don't do that. Then once reality hit, she apologized about what she asked him to do and the predicament and the situation that she put him in, the position she put him in. And so, she was like, well, I'm going home to people who are expecting me back. And, I know I'm the reason that you're not one of them. And it was such a heavy ass episode. Like, I'm like, where is JJ? We need some, comedic relief. It was such a heavy, episode. And so that scene between them was just so sad because Olivia barely made it out of the door before the tears just poured from Spencer's eyes. It was, let me end it. So Olivia goes home and she breaks down. Her family consoles her. So the next morning they inform her that she's going to go to an outpatient rehab center and that the family will be going to, the counseling meetings as well. So I thought that was encouraging. And just getting everyone involved, not sending her away because they could really tell this girl did not want to go to a regular, rehab for the sake of, I don't know what she might do if she's put in that position. So I think that this is a great show with teenagers. Sometimes it's hard to believe they're teenagers, but it makes me think of like it's not as extreme as Beverly Hills 90210, the original, not, I don't know what's out now, but the original 90210, because they dealt with some of everything. So I think it's good to present things to high school students and maybe even college students. Like, this stuff is real: anxiety, depression, addiction, trying to maneuver, trying to do everything on your own, which sometimes leads to suicide. It leads to, certain thought processes. And so I think they do a great job. This is actually one of my favorite shows. It is well written. The content is amazing. So I'm excited to see what happens with this particular show. I think everyone is doing a marvelous job, portraying their characters. And yeah, I'm just excited to see. Now, the reviews won't be coming out on Wednesdays. I plan on doing them on Tuesdays, but I went to bed super early last night. I needed it because I was tired. But but I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and I will holla at y'all later. Bye.